So speaking of breath work, I've done some yoga just by watching videos, and they didn't teach a lot of the breath work necessarily that I remember. Although maybe it's because I wasn't paying attention or following direction. So tell us how you incorporate that into the physical like poses of yoga. Because when I think of yoga, I think of warrior pose and
Mhm.
down dog and things like that. So how do you incorporate breath work into poses like that?
Well, it really depends on the person because everybody's going to need something a little bit different. There are certain breaths that can elevate the sympathetic nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system. So it depends on where that individual is that we're practicing with. Obviously, if it's in a group, it's a little bit different. There's certain breaths you can do that help prepare your body for practice, a heated practice or an internal heating practice. So really, it depends on the person and the time.
Yeah, but we also take time in the beginning of a class to do just specifically breath work without any movement. So that sets the tone for what people can expect for the class if it's a group class, but also taking more time in the postures and cueing a specific breath through a posture, having them stay in a posture for 3 minutes so that they are connecting to their breath. And then we do specific breath work at the end of the class too.
Mhm.
So when you talk about breath work, is it breathing in, breathing out? Can you give us a little more detail
That's
without
usually
giving
the
away
key
the
right
whole
there.
thing?
Breathe in, breathe out.
So there's a plethora of different styles of breath work. We try to stay more traditional. So traditional yoga that has ancient roots and science that's now been backing it up, but it's always just worked effectively. So there's some breath holding. There's making your inhales longer than your exhales. That would be that stimulating, more vigorating. There's very rapid breathing. One of them is called like breath of fire, where you're exhaling rapidly. It increases metabolism and blood flow and detoxification. And then if we're trying to slow things down, cool things off, calm people down, you want to lengthen the exhale. So there's all different things.
Yeah, it's the very simplest form. A breath in through the nose for 5 seconds, maybe 6. Breath out of the nose for that same evenly metered time. In for 6, out for 6. That's usually where we start.
And
Then
that's
you start
usually
to add in. Sorry, go ahead.
well, and that's gonna initiate a parasympathetic response. Is that correct? A slow breathing like that?
Yeah, and just breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Rarely people are even breathing correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, Travis. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
You start.
I kind of got off track, truthfully. So the in and out, it is a parasympathetic response, but think about it more as like a full cycle. So as you breathe in, you get all the oxygen you need, and there's a sense of like completion, like you feel good. It's so simple. The full breath out is the end of that cycle, and we as humans love cycles. We love completion. So a full breath in, slight pause maybe at the top, full breath out, slight pause. We just build nice and slow, starting on the inhale, exhale. And your mind is following the breath, which is sometimes counting. Sometimes, well, let me back up just a little bit. The mind follows the breath, which gets you out of your own head. I think that's probably the simplest way of putting it.
Which is a form of concentration or meditation. So just getting people to focus on counting their own breath is a way to clear their mind and keep them present. There's so much talk about people being present and mindful, but if you don't actually know how to do it and you don't actually have the tools to do that, you're just walking around with these cool words.